way or another, and therefore impacting our delivery or impacting our way in which we interact with our learners. And remember, a teacher who is demotivated will definitely affect the learning outcomes of a learner. So this is why we thought probably we need, first of all, to look at the teacher well-being, what you can do, how you can maneuver in it, and how you can be able to help any other of our colleagues who might be going through certain challenges, ranging from class management, personal life, and generally teacher well-being and professional well-being of an educator. So I hope my screen is visible from your end. Somebody confirm that the screen is visible.
Yeah. Hi, Maxwell. Yes, it is visible.
Thank you, Vida. So I'll go right away to it. Therefore, so our today's session, teacher well-being training, a path to resilience and balance. Key objectives being we want to look at understanding the importance of teacher well-being, and then we also look at the practical skills or strategies that we can employ as educators for our well-being. And then we shall wrap it up by looking at how you can be able to develop a personalized well-being action plan. So the objectives for these, or rather the agenda today, we'll start by looking at an icebreaker. Then we understand the meaning of teacher well-being. And then later on, we look at the key dimensions of well-being, strategies for enhancing well-being. We might have a breakout there, but probably in form of a polling or just an interaction on the chats. Then we'll look at how to build an action plan. This is a purely interactive session. It is not direct, it's not unidirectional in terms of me talking and talking. No, at some point we'll be allowing for you guys to unmute, use the chat section to respond to questions, contribute to discussions here and there. So feel free, if you have any issue you need to raise up, you can raise your virtual hand. One of my moderator will be able to see, and we invite you to share what you have to share. So going right into it, so we need to get to know each other. Generally, I want you using the chat section. There's a small icon on your Zoom interface that allows you to chat. So kindly share one activity you enjoy that helps you relax or distress. What is this thing that when you get to do it, it makes you calm down? It is one activity that when you're feeling down, you will readily go to do it to unwind, kind of. So just drop it in the chat and see how we are on the same page. We can borrow one leaf from any one of you to see whether we can also practice. Maybe your actions are the best for distress or debriefing, as you like calling it in the staff room. So guys, go to the chat section. What is this one activity that helps you to relax when you're feeling down? Something that helps you to unwind after a heavy day or a busy day or more or less a stressing day at work or at home. Vida, are there any responses in the chat section?
Yes, I can see them coming. Teacher Bernard says he likes dancing.
Wow.
Teacher Zipora Gakuru says doing some artwork. Teacher Muhammad says, I derive my energy from listening to music. Teacher Monica says singing and listening to music. Teacher Lillian says singing, dancing, and working out. Teacher Nelson says watching funny clips. Teacher Hilda says listening to gospel music and reading the Bible. Teacher Fanny says watching comedy. Teacher Omar says jogging and playing football. Oh, Teacher Kellen says making friends and chatting.
All right, thanks a lot for those responses. Keep them coming. Yeah, indeed, it's very, very key for us to have that activity that can help us unwind, help us to come back to levels that are manageable when you're feeling low or when you're feeling too overwhelmed. Sometimes it's very, very important for us to go to unwinding, if it's team building, whether it's going playing soccer, watching your favorite movie, or dancing, as Mohammed said. So why does teacher well-being matter? Why do we have to put a lot of emphasis on teacher well-being? Now, teacher well-being is not just important for us, but rather it affects directly our students. Research shows that when teachers feel supported and balanced, our learners perform much better and show better engagement. If you are to rate your well-being on a scale of 1 to 10, whether it is your physical well-being, emotional well-being, social well-being, what would it be? Don't feel shy to share. If you are to rate your well-being right now, I tell you, just rate your well-being as a teacher. Is it 4? Is it 5? Is it 8? Is it 10 out of 10? So quickly go on the chat section. If you are to rate your well-being, how would you rate it? Yeah, whether it's your personal health, job satisfaction, and so many other status in which you can rate your well-being. What will it be? A 4, a 5, a 10? I can see quite a number of you guys throwing in your ratings. Mercy Wanjiku says 9. Nganga Joseph from Kiambu says, Mary says 8. Adelaide 7. Bendit says 6. Monica Ngari 8. We have a 4 out of 10 from Jacinta. 3 out of 10 from Nelson Dirangu. A 6 and another 6 coming in. So different of us, different teachers will always say, rarely will you get a teacher saying my well-being is at 10 out of 10. Most of us will vary from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up to there. But we still have some teachers who really have challenges in terms of their well-being, whether it's mental, physical, and all that. It could be as a result of sickness, for instance. It could be as a result of maybe stress at work. It could be as a result of maybe feeling excluded and so forth. So your well-being has 4 main elements. So when you talk about teacher well-being, we look at 4 dimensions that give us a complete picture of what your well-being really is. We talk of emotional well-being, we talk of your physical well-being, we talk of your social well-being, and we talk of your professional well-being. All these 4 dimensions remind us that well-being is holistic. It is not just picking on one dimension, picking on one element. Rather, it's a holistic approach that constitutes to you now saying, I am well. My well-being is okay. So you don't pick on one and say, I'm unwell. Yes, one could lead to you overall well-being being low, but in general, when you talk about teacher well-being, we want to look at this in all the 4 dimensions. So if you think of any of these 4 dimensions, which one would you like to work on the most as we go through today's session? That is something you can think about it as we explore what emotional well-being is, physical well-being is, social well-being and professional well-being, be thinking of uh, which area do you have a weakness? Where do you have gaps? Is it in your physical well-being? Is it in your emotional well-being, professional, and all that? So these 4 dimensions, if we now expound further on them, emotional well-being is basically refers to you being able to manage stress and emotions, and you can be able to do that by practicing what you call self-compassion, or what I can call self-love. You could practice gratitude by writing down 3 things you are grateful for, or by just counting your blessings, as some of us would want to say. Physical well being, on the other hand, you ensure that you get adequate sleep, exercise, and nutrition. And a good example here could be maybe you set a timer to take a 5 minute stretch or break or walk, or just 5 minutes to do something you enjoy doing, whether it's jogging, whether it's stretching, and all that, to ensure that your physical well-being is kept in check. And then the social well-being being your ability to build supportive relationships and connecting with colleagues, whether it is that rural show you've been yearning to go, your friend has invited you, go for it. Whether it's taking a coffee evening break with a friend or with a colleague or with the family, or go for that yamachoma. Who knows? This is one way of ensuring that your social well-being has been kept in check. Then we have the professional well-being, where we talk of ability to find meaning in what you do and setting boundaries. Do you love what you're doing? Remember, if you are a teacher who is unhappy in class, your professional well-being is in the red zone. So as a teacher or as an educator, to ensure that your professional well-being is in check, you first of all have to like what you're doing. Don't do it for money. Don't say, I'm just doing this because I need to pay bills. No, you are doing it because you like it, and you wake up every day aspiring to go to work. You also need to set boundaries at the workplace. Remember, when you get provoked by people at work, when you easily get into arguments by the people at work, it might affect your professional well-being. So, with that, having looked at those 4 areas, this is kind of a reflection and sharing activity on our well-being strategy. So, just reflect on one well-being strategy you use and you try. Then we'll give you, like, in the chat section, probably you can be able to share what is this well-being strategy you employ in order to just keep yourself, yeah, at that high level energy without feeling depressed, without feeling overwhelmed with all this. And then probably, I know some of us could have mentioned that in the previous get to know each other in the previous slides, but keep them coming. What is this one well-being strategy you think it is your magic pill that just keeps working for you? Whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, whenever you're feeling stressed, go for it. We'll be able to sample out a few of them towards the end. So when you talk about emotional well-being as the first area, which is very key, it is actually like the anchor to all this, because when you're feeling stressed, even working out becomes a problem. When you're feeling stressed, your professional well-being will not be okay. If you're feeling stressed, even you don't keep friends, you keep shouting at each other, even at work. The slightest provocation, you go into exchange program with your colleagues, and things don't end up well. So emotional well-being and mental health are very, very important area for the general teacher well-being. So the World Health Organization conceptualizes mental health as a state of well-being in which you, as an educator, you have an appropriate awareness of yourself, you realize your own abilities, you can cope with normal stresses of life, you can work productively and fruitfully, and you can also be able to make a contribution to your community, whether it is at church, whether it's at school, whether it's in the village. are you leaving a positive impact? If you cannot be able to actualize any of the four areas I've mentioned, that is, you're aware of yourself, you realize your abilities, you don't jump into saying, yes, I can drive, and you cannot. Yes, I can be able to lead a choir, and you cannot. You self-awareness and know what you can do and what you cannot do, and then you can work productively and fruitfully and be able to make a contribution to your own community. Then we say your emotional well-being or your mental health is good. But in absence of that, any of that, we now say you are suffering from what you call mental health disorder. Mental health disorder refers to a wide range of mental health conditions which are characterized with this significant disturbance in an individual, hence affecting your mood, your thinking, and behavior. This could last for days, weeks, or months. Now, most people with the mental health disorder will most certainly suffer from another disorder we refer to as alcohol and drug abuse, or what we call substance use disorder, SUD, substance use disorder, which affects a person's brain and behavior, leading to a person's inability to control their use of substances, whether it is alcohol or whether it is something else. Now, this substance use disorder is a medical condition. We must accept that it's a sickness. It is not by the choice that people just decide to abuse drugs. It generally might start as a social habit, then it graduates to now to levels where now somebody has lost totally control. I know most of us probably in one way or another you've interacted with colleagues who cannot just control the bottle. They see the bottle, that is it. Everything stops. Their world comes to a standstill. So this mental condition is characterized by an impaired ability to stop or control your alcohol use. And despite adverse social, occupational, or health consequences, you can't just handle it. It is a very chronic and relapsing disease. We might have known any one of educators who has lost a family because of alcohol or substance abuse, to some deadly extent where we have lost teachers to death. Teachers went out drinking, overdose, dependency, or accidents here and there. So this is something that is really affecting us, and we need to know how to handle this. 1 in every 10 people that you interact with, where you are, if you can count 10 people, know that 1 out of those 10 people has a mental disorder. That is according to Ministry of Health. These numbers increases to even 1 in every 4 among patients attending routine outpatient services. And in most cases, most of the mental health issues are brought about by or characterized by depression and anxiety disorder, which are the main causes of mental illness that have been diagnosed in Kenya. Anxiety disorder: what will happen tomorrow? What if I don't do this? What if I don't get money? What if my children don't go to school? These are the most common causes of disorder. And among the many different types of substance, alcohol is the major contributor to the largest burden of substance use related illness in Kenya. Yes, as I mentioned, it might start as a social binge, then it gravitates towards now becoming a habit. Every now and then you want to go grab a bottle. It will now go to every morning. You cannot function properly without, we always say in Swahili, kutoa lock. So this is something that is really affecting, and especially as educators in the country. But have we lost it all? So This, as we've mentioned, substance disorder and all that, other examples of mental health illness that are characterized among educators in this country, we have depression. I've already mentioned anxiety disorder. We have behavioral disorder where probably somebody is just violent, aggressive, impulsive. Yeah. Anxiety disorder, we've mentioned being nervous and fear or worry. We have schizophrenia, which is characterized by thoughts of or experiences that seem out of touch with reality, what most of us call zajaba. This leads to disorganized speech or even behavior and decreased participation in daily activities. Another one that is really affecting most people, and it mainly affects ladies, it's eating disorder, which somebody just doesn't feel satisfied at all. He'll eat, and eating is never enough for such people. Then we have bipolar, which is associated with episodes of mood swings ranging from depressive lows to manic highs. One minute, this person is just extremely happy, and the other minute is just feeling so low, is feeling suicidal, and all that. And then we have the other, which is most common, what we call the post traumatic stress disorder, which is characterized by failure to recover after experiencing or witnessing a terrifying event. It could have been maybe somebody witnessed somebody being killed, somebody witnessed somebody losing life, somebody witnessed an accident, or something that is traumatizing. And this really affects quite a number of people within the statistics of 1 out of 10 that we have looked out for. So when people are having this mental illness, what do we need to look out for? It might be yourself experiencing some of these signs and symptoms, or your friend or your colleague. What do we need to look out for? So I've categorized the symptoms into 4 main categories. We have the emotional symptoms or emotional signs. These are symptoms like feeling sad or down, overly worried, extreme mood changes of highs and lows. Remember, I talked about bipolar, and hopelessness, excessive fear or worries, what we talked about, anxiety disorder, or extreme feeling of guilt, and suicidal ideations. People just feeling, I can't take this anymore. Then we have what we call the cognitive signs. Cognitive signs affect your mental ability to coordinate. Things like confused thinking or reduced ability to concentrate, hearing voices and seeing things that no one else is able to see. There we have behavioral signs. Behavioral signs could be brought in by things like frequent absenteeism for our colleagues who are not coming to work. Somebody just decided to desert duty. When it gets to the 13th day, or 2 week cycle, and then disappears again. So these are some of signs of mental illness. Withdrawal from friends and activity. This is somebody we've known who is very hyper, and then all of a sudden he doesn't even post anything. He doesn't contribute to walls, departmental walls, or group walls, or even the staff room welfare walls. Loss of interest in frequently enjoyable activities, and to some extent, this is only the spouse who can tell. Sex drive changes. Yeah. And then we have physical signs, which are mainly characterized by significant tiredness, low energy or problem sleeping, delusion, paranoia, not able to complete school or work tasks, and the ultimate, which we've already mentioned, alcoholism. So when you see somebody switching to alcoholism, know that they have underlying mental disorder. Alcoholism is just an escapism way to avoid what he thinks is a problem. So the moment you see somebody starting to do alcohol more frequently, there are underlying issues. And so you as a colleague or a friend or family, you know what to check out for and the interventions that you can be able to take. So what causes this mental disorder? Uh, when mental disorder goes untreated, the condition becomes worse. Yeah. And it increases the chances of risky behaviors like drug abuse, as I've mentioned. And then it can also lead to increased changes in the bodily health issues and may lead to things like self-harm, suicidal, and all that. So recurring of the conditions cushioned with other conditions that are severe could lead to even death. When mental illness is untreated, it can lead to severe emotional damage, behavioral and physical health problems. Research has shown that mainly some of the causes of mental health, some are hereditary. Yeah, in a family where people have suffered from some kind of mental disorder, yes, your chances are highly to be a victim of a mental health disorder, an ongoing chronic medical condition. You're feeling that, why was it me? Why was it to be me? Somebody is sick, maybe has been diagnosed with cancer, HIV, and all that, and any other chronic kidney failure and all that. These are things that can really lead somebody to thinking about what's the meaning of life. We have environmental exposures, yeah, predisposed to environmental issues, like probably I've said you encountered or you witnessed a traumatic experience. And then brain damage. Generally, maybe you knocked yourself in an accident, maybe you bumped your head and something just happened, or maybe you're exposed to radiation to some extent, messing up with your brain tissues and all that. So all these are some of the, not all, but some of the causes of mental mental health. What are the preventive measures? Practice and take care of ourselves. The most important one is keeping up with the basics, just like being active and eating healthy. Sometimes we undermine the power of taking a stroll. You've been seated on your desk the whole day, doing the lesson plans, doing the lesson notes, marking, especially as people were just coming from the end of the year. There was a bit of a lot of marking. Sometimes that sitting down can really bother you. So just take a break, take a walk around the school, go say hi to the kitchen staff, go to the staff room, throw in one, two, three laughs, and come back and continue. It's just simple as that. It just helps you to calm down, to relax, and all that. Share how you feel with your colleagues or supervisors, for instance. If you have a trusted friend at school, just talk to them, share your feelings out. You never know that talking to somebody to some extent solves part of the problem. And then keep career in perspective, keep learning. Learning does not have to be formal education. It can be anything that develops your knowledge in any area. Whether you want to learn how to make a layered chapati, uh, pick up that. Go to YouTube, figure out how to do it. Do it fun. It makes you feel good. If you want to know how to make that favorite meal that you've ever thought of making, if you wanted to make the Indian roti, you can learn something new just to keep yourself developed personally. Then find small moments to yourself, what we call the me days or the me times. Yeah, sometimes it's just good to go sit somewhere and just thank your body and have fun. Yeah, of course, not overindulging though, but just having your me time to it. It's yourself, man. Self-love, eh? You can also approach others with kindness and open mind. Never judge. When you find somebody stressed or doing some crazy stuff, don't judge. Instead, position yourself in the shoes of that person. Be kind to others because karma is real. You never know. Always be kind, whether it is to your colleagues, your students. Just be kind and open minded. And the ultimate, counting your blessings. Just note down things that you are grateful for and express yourself well. Imagine you just waking up in the morning. It's a greatest blessing. You wake up, Many people did not make it out of their sleep. But you are there. You've woken up, you've seen the daylight, you've heard the cock crow. Thank God for that. Just be happy that you are alive. That's where to start from. Yeah. Remember, your wealth is purely your health, and your net worth is your network. Don't forget those two. So, in general, just be happy. You never know how much time you have left. That's a lesson learned in life from lessonlearnedinlife.com. Be real and maintain reasonable expectations. Don't build castles in the air. If you've been dreaming to drive a Mercedes S-Class and you don't even have a bicycle, then I think you are over ambitious. But I'm not saying it's impossible. You can be able to do that. You never know. Things can turn around in an hour or even in a day. What you did have yesterday comes today. Realistic expectations. Stay in touch with friends and family always. They are your that is your last backbone. You don't mess around with your family. Keep them in touch. Keep them intact. When all the dust has settled, professional wise, socially out there, it always comes back to who is your family. Always check on each other. Focus on what you can control. What you can't control, leave it. Some of you will want to be in the shoes of your principal. You start saying, if I were the principal, these teachers will not be doing this. Wait, your turn will come. For now, you are not. So stop stressing yourself with the roles of the principal and the roles of the owners of the board chair that they didn't take you to Mombasa. If you are the board chair, I will take everybody to Dubai. Wait, your turn will come. So avoid stressing yourself so much and exercise more frequently. More other methods of prevention of this mental illness. Avoid common triggers. We've said don't be too quick to exchange with others. When you find somebody is triggering you, just walk away. Avoid alcohol and drug use. Exercise more frequently. Maintain your diet. Sleep well. And where necessary, go for therapy. We've also said you talk to somebody. Know your limits and cut down on the number of things you try to do each day. Leo uko kwa choir, the same day you want to go to a rurashu, the same day you want to you attend your best friend's child's birthday. No, you cannot be everywhere. You're not God. You can't be omnipresent. So prioritize what tasks mean more to you. Attend to those ones first. But you can't be a yes man or a yes woman. Everything, yes, I will do it. Yes, no. Be realistic about what you can accomplish effectively each day, and also monitor your pace. Unplug, sometimes it's very important. Stop rushing through things that can lead to mistakes or poor performance. You've seen your colleague has come to school driving a brand new car, KDG, and yourself, you think you can do that tomorrow. So you want to rush and say, hey, I want to outsmart him. You don't know what the miles this guy has walked through to achieve that. So slow down, maintain a low pace. Good things take time. Watu wa Aviator, remember that. Monitor, take time. You need to do a good job, and poorly done tasks can lead to added stress. You, as a champion of mental health, what can you do to help? Have regular debriefs, support and encourage colleagues, staff to feel free to talk about their concerns. Be there, be an upstander. When you see your colleagues struggling with alcoholism, try to find out. Working with the government, the commission has set up what we call the TMEC program, the Teacher Induction Mentorship Program, mentorship and coaching program that helps to build oneself. where an experienced educator is able to hold your hand there and all that, and do that, build each one of us professionally. So we can explore such. We have other networks. I'll be talking about them later on, like Kenepote, yeah, Kenya National Positive Teachers, that can really help us to, when you find a colleague having issues, you can always refer them to such structures that are in place right from the sub county all the way to the national headquarters. Encourage a culture of peer sharing and team building activities. This is where our ladies do better than us, gentlemen. Ladies will always share out. They'll cry out, they'll share out their issues. But women, we always say men don't share their problems or men don't cry. My friend, if you don't cry and you don't share out, you don't share out your issues, you will go down very quickly. So always encourage our colleagues to share what they are going through. Have a culture of clear communication about workplace well-being. When you see things are not going right, probably you could involve the admin and set out structures to help. We, most of us, have welfares within our school. What do those welfares do? Are they just to contribute when people are bereaved? No, welfares should be able to help even those who are still alive to live a more meaningful life and realistic life. Those people, especially those of us who are young educators, they always say, "Ah, I mean, I can't be in a welfare." My friend, that welfare in the school, it's a very important department. Net worth is your network. And where necessary, refer the affected or the infected teachers to appropriate psychosocial support groups. What I've talked about already, the Kenepote, it's a psychosocial group that is in all the 47 counties, the Kenya network of positive teachers. We have county directors, ADS, mental health disorder teachers to wellness division. In all the county directors, there is a wellness division. So if you find a teacher or a colleague who is struggling, it's all free. They are not charged for anything. And the teacher will be counseled, assessed, and referred for further assessment and treatment. And do not discriminate any educator who is undergoing all these problems. Don't see somebody's home breaking down and then you are the one on the fence saying, ha ha ha, his wife left. Now see, he's drinking. No, no, no. It can even happen to you. So don't discriminate. Embrace your brother, embrace your sisters, bring them close to you. Try to help and see what you can do. There is always something you can always try to do. You can also initiate sensitization, awareness creation program that that helps to network and link the affected teachers to referral facilities, as I've already mentioned, in the counties and in the county hospitals. And for your information, for those of you who belong to the health insurance scheme, the EON, it pays all that for free for rehabilitation, treatment to the principal member. That is, if you are the principal member, it will pay, cater for all those costs. What are the strategies that we can employ for our well-being? So it's emotional, physical, social, and all that. This is the third time you might be wondering, why am I repeating this same question? Because it starts with you. Somebody cannot prescribe for you a well-being plan when you have not assessed yourself, have not done a self-evaluation to establish, what is this thing that I'm lacking? Am I lacking my emotional well-being, my physical well-being, my social well-being, or professional well-being? These strategies, as simple as they are very effective. Yeah, very, very effective. And in one way or another, we can help one another. Probably, if you are looking at your emotional well-being, you can maybe start by practicing mindfulness or journaling. Yeah, for your physical well-being, you can take short walks, even indoors. You can do some push-ups. in the house when you wake up in the morning or in the evening before you sleep. Socially, you can schedule that coffee chat. Yeah, go meet that guy you've been having a crush on the network and just have that social networking and all that. Professional well-being, setting boundaries, guys. The most undoing for us, we don't set boundaries. You'll want a handshake to exceed the elbow, and when that happens, it brings in stress. Yeah, don't allow people to chat you in the night, even if it's your deputy calling you on duty at midnight. Do not. No emails after 6 p.m. Yeah, but others, sometimes if you are the senior teacher in the school or it's an emergency, sometimes it's allowed. But uh, let's not get used to it, because you also have your time beyond the school that you need to dedicate, probably maybe to improve the mini score in the school. Make sure your home mini score also improves. Don't develop the school mean score and leave your home mean score in turmoil. Because at the end of the day, remember we said, when all the dust has settled, your family is the last back wall that you have. So always ensure your family is at peace, you as an educator. Now, let's make it actionable. Uh, Probably you would want to choose a focus area, then define a simple, specific action. Feel free to type your action plan in the chat section. So, your personalized well being plan. You need to set a goal. Yeah. Setting a goal means you are choosing a well being area to focus on, e.g., I want to do more rests, I want to set better boundaries. Define action. What will you do to do that? You can maybe write down one or two specific actions, e.g., for physical well being, I'll take a 5 minute break every hour. Then you commit to it. Share your action in the platform. Later on, we shall on the chat section on how to go about this. So building a well action plan, we'll be able to do that at the end of this. Then we can probably share what. With that in mind, what are your key takeaways? Your individual reflections. What will you take away from this well-being and plan? From what we have discussed, your emotional well-being, your physical well-being, your social well-being. Quickly in the chat section, what are your key takeaways? Is there anything new you've learned today? So as you do that, we reflect as we teacher well-being is very essential to effective teaching and a fulfilling career. We need to know that if you are not well, your mental state is in shambles, then the students will suffer. Your close allies will suffer, whether it's your family, your friends, and all that. So think of what you'll carry forward as we wind up. Actually, we are just winding up. But as we do that, our recap today, you need to slow down. You need to keep calm. You need to be positive. You need to take it easy, unplug, enjoy life, have fun, breathe, relax, go outside, and meditate. But sometimes you need to look at life from a different perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of our presentation on teacher well-being and mindset. I know